Hey everyone, Melissa here. Well, I am excited about all the flowers for summer, and we're going to get started with this summer season with a whimsical bouquet where we're going to be using our imaginations and the flowers we've painted to create a whimsical bouquet, and then we're going to use it as a journal entry as well. So all of your hopes, plans, dreams, prayers for the summer, you can write them in and incorporate them into the bouquet, and then use that during the summer as a way to enjoy, plan, and map out some of your summer activities. So it's going to be so much fun. Hey everyone, well, we are back, and this is a really fun whimsical journaling page today. So what I did is I've been using this watercolor paper from Hobby Lobby. It's Master's Touch. It's 6 by 8 inches. So it's a really great paste size to fit into your books and whatnot. So I have that. I've got it taped down, and what I did this morning, and I was thinking I just wanted to create a journaling page of what I am excited about for summer, what my hopes are, what I'm looking forward to. So what I did is I just sketched out some of the flowers. I was looking through some of the sketches we've done. The pea vines were really fun. The poppies, remember when we did those? I had some other ones. I really love these blue flowers that we had done earlier. They're a variety of like Gerber daisies, but not a little bit of a different kind. And I had some other ones, but those are the ones that I was pulling out from because I wanted just a really loose, happy bouquet. And you'll see here I'm a little bit off center because I want to create some space for writing up here and then around and on the flowers too. So if you want to take a few minutes, I'll have this picture up on the blog, or if you wanted to sketch out your own lovely bouquet, and then we're going to paint really light, and then we're going to come back and finish it. So this will be a two-part one today, which I think is just a lot of fun. I've got my paints. We're going to do just a little bit of splattering today, which I thought would be fun too. We haven't done that in a while. I've got maybe a little bit, I forgot my horizon line back here, so I'm just going to do I'm not even doing like a solid line. I just want a little bit of horizon. I used a mason jar because I don't know, there's something so lovely about mason jars. I'm like, where did the other part of my palette go? My poor broken paint palette. Making sure you guys see it. We have good sun today. It's just that gorgeous morning light, but it's just a little bit bright for me too. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead by starting. I'm going to just do some splattering, and I'm going to start with some splattering today. I also because this is a bit of a quicker one, I want to just make sure I'm really liking all my colors, so I'm going to do green. Now I'm going to rinse it off really well. I'm going to grab my phthalo blue. Oh wait, that's my cerulean. Where's my... grab whatever blue you'd like, but I thought blue would be really, really fun. And I'm going to just actually throw that blue up here. And I'm going to splatter the middle flowers with blue and some more blue. And then I'm going to get some orange over. Maybe actually I'm going to start with yellow. I'm going to pick up some cadmium yellow light, and I'm going to come through over on where the poppies are. Now we won't splatter too much pink, but I want to splatter some pink too. So I'm just going to start with splattering this morning, which is kind of fun, and it's whimsical, and it's a journal page, and I'm kind of in just a real fun splattering sort of mood. Also creating in those margins, right? There's not tons of time, but there's enough time. There's enough time to do this happy little sketch. And I'm also going to grab some more of that blue from my mason jar. I'm just going to kind of paint it a light blue this morning instead of trying to create all the stalks. We're just going to pretend that we painted it. So I'm going to go ahead and put some blue in here. And then down here below, I'm going to do some yellow for the bottom. So now that I have all those initial splatters done, I'm going to go in and I'm going to just pick up some paint, and I'm going to grab some of that yellow for like the poppies. I'm actually going to grab some yellow and pink, and because that'll make a really nice orange. Isn't that fun? So then we don't have to grab a different orange. We're just going to use what we have. And remember, this is super whimsical, so we're using the summer colors where they're lighter. Maybe in the spring they're maybe a little bit more cooler. And I'm just going in there and just, again, almost tapping and dabbing the paint. Picking up a little bit more pink. You can mix it with a little bit of yellow in your palette if you want. But just moving that around. And these, I'm going to get a little more pink to dab it in there and just let it mix right here on the page, and this was another one. This was actually another poppy, so we're actually going back on that one where I had sprinkled too much pink, not the pea vine, but that's the fun too, is that you can just mix that up. Moving that around there, and the blue can create a little bit of a different color. Don't get too bothered by that. These were orange right in here as well, so I'm going to go ahead. These were little poppies, like baby ones, so I'm going to go ahead and just dab those in that nice peachy orange. And then I'm going to grab that blue, and with the blue I'm going to move this around. There we go. Moving that around. And you can see too, I'm just kind of taking my time. I like the splattering too because it helps me not get too perfectionistic. And some days, especially when I'm thinking about summer, like summer, you want it to be a little bit more loose and carefree, right? At least I do. When I'm thinking of summer activities, I was chatting in a text group just with a couple of friends last night. We're planning on we've been talking about getting together for months and finally getting on the calendar and kind of laughing about the food differences we like and whatnot. And one of them was like, I don't care really where we get together. I am just wanting to come, just to spend some time with you. And that's exactly how I feel too about this, about summer season in general. It's just a time to reconnect with people, spend some leisurely time with people when it's been so busy. And you can tell if you're coming through, and I'll move this in a bit closer, what ended up happening right there. So I got just a little bit of a different blue in there. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. I'm going to grab my pink, and I'm going to go ahead and just dab that in here. Just like that. Add a little bit more water here, and don't paint it totally in. Definitely keep some white in there. You can use whatever pink is on there to kind of move around. Perfect. I'm going to add some yellow in here, but I'm going to give it just a quick second to dry. So I'm going to give it about a minute to dry, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to add yellow in here, so I'll see you in just a minute. The reason being with the splatters, if I get too much going on, it will get a bit muddy, so I have to wait for just a quick second. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going to just come back through, and literally I had just stepped away, went and did something, came back. That was just enough time because I want to drop in that yellow right here in the center flowers, and I don't want it to turn to green, right? So there we go. I have that yellow there. I'm actually going to come through here and just in my little poppies up here, I'm going to add a little bit of a yellow just to help them sing a little bit more. Over on this one, a bit of yellow, and let's go ahead and do some green real quick. Oh, and I know the yellow too was down here. I was going to use that yellow on the bottom as well. I'm a little bit of shadowing, and not a lot, just a little bit. I'm going to pick up some green, whatever green you want to use. I've got a Hooker's green on my palette, so I'm going to use that. The splatters too, giving it just a minute to dry, so when I come back and I adding in this paint, we're not mixing the colors, right? Because we don't want to get browns if we can at all help it. No browns on this particular painting. So just moving in there, very nice. Letting that paint do its magic, as I just will let it sometimes just drop in different places. I have a leaf hanging over. That's kind of fun, I think, to make the leaves kind of hanging over the vase. It's a very casual summer bouquet. Not quite a wildflower bouquet, but a little bit like that. Now too, if you want to make sure that your leaves have some depth of color, and a lot of times we look like, even like the pea vine leaves, they actually had quite a bit of yellow in them. So I can go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and do these stems on the pea vines really quick. We finish up there. And then I'm going to take some yellow, rinse that brush out, grab that cadmium yellow or whatever yellow you're using. You don't want to use a new yellow, right? We're just going to dab in right here and let that do its work as well. Put a little bit right in here, and then I'm actually going to go up here, and this is a nice lighter green. up here on my poppies. I'll pick up some more green and then just do the green over that yellow there. Remember, this is a super loose, like this is the opposite of getting, we're not trying to do a study of flowers. It's really nice and loose. If you feel like you want your flowers looking a little more fuller at the bottom, you know, just go ahead and create some additional leaves like this. Add a little bit of darker color. Right over here we have some more green. Nice little leaves sticking out here. It looks lovely. Off the poppies, for example, there's often those additional shoots coming off. Even down here. Coming through now, I'm going to just grab my pink and my pea vines and just give them a little bit more of a bounce. Where I want that, some of that splatter to pop out just a little bit. I'm just going to do a little bit of splattering here. Just a little bit. And then on the blue for my mason jar, I'm going to come in super light and really just at the edge here around that leaf. Kind of thinking too where I might see some shadowing. I'm going to keep this very light. And you'll notice I'm using a pretty small brush through the entirety of this. Nothing too big. I'm just picked up some water here and I'm even just going to take the water and move that around. Lovely. Okay. There we go. I like this a lot. Pick up a little more blue just towards the bottom where I have a little bit more of a shadow around the leaf here and under the lip of the mason jar. Okay, now we're just going to leave it alone. We're going to leave it alone. We're going to let it completely dry. Of course, I've got to do a little bit more splattering. If you see anywhere on here where you just feel like something needs a pop, like I'll just do a little bit more around my petals here. I'm going to grab that. If I saw some paint merge. Other than that, go ahead and let that dry now, completely dry. And then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how we're going to create that into a really fun journal page where we're going to create this piece that you can just tuck inside your journal or your notepad or anything like that and just use it as a way to write out some of your hopes and dreams for this summer on our really gorgeous summer bouquet. So let it completely dry. I'll see you back here in just a little bit. Hey everyone, okay, I wanted to come in for just a minute and talk about our really fun Bouquet of Dreams for the summer season 2023. So if you've been with me for a little while, you know that a lot of times we will create these really fun journal watercolor paintings and their point is to look back, to reflect on the season that we've just come through, whether it's the fall or the holidays. But this year, we're doing something different. We are looking forward. So I have created, you hopefully too, have created this really lovely painting with me. And now we're going to go ahead and write what we're hoping to do this summer. What are the things that you are in your heart? They can be big, they can be small. It is all up to you. So I have to go ahead and take a Micron pen is what I have used. And I have written things up on the stems. I've written them on my little mason jar. If you want something a little bit more clean, you could write them in the empty space here. I've added some more pen work. I did a little bit more splattering. And now that I've finished, I'm going to keep this somewhere. I'm going to keep it maybe on the bathroom mirror, maybe on the refrigerator, because it's a funny thing. When we write things down and then we keep them in front of us, we're more apt to do them. So now I have that desire to see Rachel, my out-of-town friend. It's been on my calendar, my mental calendar for a long time. But now that I've written down, I'm more apt to get it on my calendar and reach out to her and do it. So now that we've created the front page of our summer goals session, now we can, at the end of summer, we can write on the back of what we actually did and the wonderful memories we have made. Summer is such a wonderful season. It goes by so fast. So it's fun to plan some great restful things out and then to do them and write about them later. So I hope that you find a quiet place, spend a few minutes writing, dreaming, planning, praying over what you want your summer to look like, and then let's get on to enjoying this sweet season of summer. Hey everyone, so we are back and you can see now it looks really nice. In fact, I really like the way all the splatters are very light. There's nothing too heavy. It just gives a very whimsical look to the whole thing. So now I'm going to go ahead and start that second portion, and this is the part 2 where maybe you want to find a quiet place where you can spend a little bit of time thinking about what you want for the summer. What are your goals and hopes? They don't have to be big or grand or anything like that. But I'm just going to show you quickly how I do this. And so a lot of times too is I may do a little bit of sketching anyways of anywhere where I just want to fill in a little bit. And if you've taken any of my courses, we usually spend a little bit of time. This is a great way just to think about things, any changes we want to make with the painting or additions. But again, I'm pretty happy with this, and we are wanting to keep this fairly, we don't want to make this too big of a project, right? And I just want what's on top of my mind as I'm thinking too. So I've left this space open over here. So you could create this space right here if you wanted to write them out a little bit more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even a paragraph or an expression, more of a little bit more open-ended appearance of what you want this to look like. I do like to be a bit more whimsical about it too, and I like to start writing things all along the stems and the sides of the mason jar, our vase right here, and even the petals of the flower. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just write down a few things. And again, over here, I'm just, again, writing a few things that have come to my mind. I already did one of them, so it's a painting party that we did at the beginning of summer with friends. I'm going to put a few things here, and you'll notice too, like they may not be really legible. I don't mind that at all. Other people might. You could write everything also in the mason jar. You could also flip this over and write everything on the back. It just depends on what you want to do. I'm going to write a few more things, and then I always add a little bit of paint. So a couple more items on the sleeve here. Okay, so that's a good handful of things right there. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to add just a little bit more paint to this. So if you wanted to do one more layer, you can do a few more splatters, for example. I might want to just liven up some of the orange of my poppies. This one's just a tad bit dull. So I'm going to come over here and get some of the cadmium yellow light and mix it with just a hint of pink. Maybe a little bit more pink. I just have this over here in my corner so you can see until I just have the orange that I want. And I'm going to make it a little bit looser and just a little bit. Anywhere where I just wanted a bit more of a pop of color. These ones I wanted a little bit more like the baby poppies that they are. I'll put that there. I'm going to grab a bit of the blue over here. In my blue flowers, I'm just going to do a little bit of splatters right here. And this is a fun time just to add some more detail if you want to. A little bit more yellow, just to give it just a couple of final touches here. I'm going to put some more green down here on the corner, and then I'm also going to do a little bit of yellow here too. Right over on those leaves, and then just move that around in the paint to get a bit more depth over here. I want the yellow in the center of the blue flowers to pop just a bit, so I'm just going to put a bit of yellow here. I'm going to splatter some yellow here just to create a bit of brightness. And really, I think I'm about done. If you wanted to, you could bring it a little bit more yellow back here. And if you think, gosh, that looks just a little bit too much, you could always take your paper towel, dry it off. And now we have a finished piece of art here. I'm going to go ahead and take off the tape so you can see that what it looks like. And what it would be fun to do as well is at the end of summer, oh, I just realized I missed a leaf. That's the nice thing about coming back. Oh, I missed a leaf right here. At the end of summer, you can come back and see what did I do and what maybe needs to get on the list for next summer. These can be projects or just seeing people. I have a couple other things I'm going to add a little bit later. You know, so many times what we write down does have an amazing power to get done than what we just leave in our head, right? Okay, that looks super nice. We'll do a little leaf up here. I'm going to go ahead and take off this tape. You have those beautiful, really white, clean edges. That looks super nice. Don't forget to put the date on it, so you remember when you were making out all of these plans. I'm going to put right here, June 2023. There we go, our beautiful summer journal watercolor. I think it looks lovely. Okay, I'll see you guys back really soon to paint together some more.